Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to a new video on the channel. And today guys, here we are to continue my AFL 2023 3-game match reviews. In today's video, going to be reviewing the final 3 games of round 19. Those games are GWS vs Gold Coast, Melbourne vs Adelaide and St Kilda vs North Melbourne. Alright, so the first game of Sunday's footy action was at Manuka Oval in the nation's capital. The Giants haven't had a great record there as of late, but did fix this one up today, winning by 40 points. A really nice big win for them and a percentage boosting win that they needed for their season. 15-13, 103 GWS defeated Gold Coast 9-9-63. A very nice 40-point win here. And it was a very comfortable one in the end. The Suns, probably the better team the first term, but in the second term, everything just went the Giants' way. However, only managed to hold a 2-point lead at half-time, but then finally got reward for their effort, bang for their buck in quarters 3 and 4. That is when they got off and away to their very nice and comfortable win. And it will set up a very good clash with the Western Bulldogs next week at Mars Stadium as well for the Giants and the Suns, where they'll be playing the Q clash against Brisbane. 112 fantasy for Himmelberg, 110 for Flanders, 106 for Whitfield, 101 for Lukosius, 100 for Atkins. Goals behinds, 3 goals for Green. 4 for Green, more precise, but he kicked the 3 majors. 3 for Lukosius as well. 2 for Daniels, Brown, Ainsworth, Riccardi, Hollins. Disposals, 31 for Flanders, 29 for Cornelio and Atkins, 28 for Kelly. Marks now, 12 for Himmelberg and Iden, 11 for Collins, 10 for Taylor, 9 for Whitfield and Lukosius. Tackles, 8 for Lloyd, 6 for Rao. We'll go to hit-outs now, 31 for Witts, 23 for Briggs, 6 for Casbolt, 3 for Brown. Team stats now is the Suns that surprisingly won the inside 50 count by +4, despite the Giants racking up the biggest score. 9-15 centre clearance is also in favour of the Gold Coast Suns as well, but the Giants won stoppage. Clearances will go to contested and uncontested footy, which the Giants both won those areas as well. And then they also won marks inside 50 and contested marks and intercepts. They did lead for a little over 3/4 of the game, did the Giants, and laid more tackles, 58-44, and also more bounces, 15-2. But look, a very nice performance here from the Giants. They get the win by 40 points again. We'll set up a really big clash next week. But again, though, the Dogs, Saints, and Essendon do have some more percentages. They did need this one to stay right in touch with them. Alright, now to the Sunday Channel 7 game, and it didn't go into this one looking like a cracker, but turned out to be a cracker in the end. A lot of people thought, including myself, this wouldn't be the most overly appealing game, but it was a very good one in the end. Melbourne 14-13-97, defeated Adelaide 13-15-93. Melbourne win by 4 points. A bit of a story of Adelaide's season. Inaccuracy has, definitely cost them on a couple of occasions, and again, on this one as well. But look, Melbourne were definitely the better of the teams. It was just that Adelaide put up a very gritty, determined performance, and nearly that was enough to get them over the line. But Melbourne were definitely the better team, and their defensive structure was such a hard one to get through. But Adelaide nearly won the game, and Melbourne, they did own the first quarter. Adelaide just, again, missing some really gettable opportunities in that first and second term, really. Melbourne, that was when they just kind of extended out their lead. Adelaide drew it back late. The third quarter was where most of the damage was done. It was Melbourne by about 24, I think, at the final change, or something along the lines of that. And Adelaide kicked the first 4 goals of the last term to be even on 73 apiece before Melbourne kicked the next 3. And Adelaide kicked the last 3 of the game, but a couple of behinds in there for Melbourne helped them get to this win. But look, what a game of footy it was in the end. AFL Fantasy now. 115 for Gawn, 108 for Brayshaw, 102 for Petrarca, 100 for Rankin, 99 for Hinch, 97 for Dawson, and 93 for Picker, who did definitely come alive in this one at times. 4 goals for Walker, he was really good. He kept him in it. Rankin was probably another real reason why they stayed in the game as well. Adelaide, 3 goals, 3 for him. 3 goals for Chandler, Pickett, Gawn, Melksham and Keys with the 2 goals each as well. 27 disposals for Viney, 26 for Petrarca and Brayshaw, 23 for Langdon and Schonberg. 22 for Crouch, Dawson and Hinge as well. Crouch, of course, making his senior team return after being stuck in the SANFL side for a very long time. Mitch Hinge got the 9 marks, 8 for Max Gawn and McAdam. Team stats now, 11 tackles for Dawson, 9 for Crouch, and 7 for Brayshaw and Sloan. Hit out 38 for Gawn, 20 for O'Brien, 8 for Thilthorpe, 5 for Van Rooyen. Team stats now, and it was Adelaide that went inside 50 an extra 2 more times against Melbourne, 52-54. And then let's have a look. Centre clearance is 15-13 in favour of the Demons, 24-19 as well. From stoppage clearances, they won that. They won contested footy. The Crows won uncontested footy though. Adelaide did win the marks by +11, but Melbourne won marks inside 50 by +5. Adelaide did win contested marks as well, 14-18. Melbourne did lead for most of the game, despite Adelaide out-tackling them by +22 and +12 tackles inside attacking 50. But look, in the end, it is a really good performance here from Melbourne. They're keeping their spot in the top 4. They're getting more separation. I think that we do have a really clear top 4 now. It does set up a really big clash, though, for the showdown next week, Adelaide versus Port. And yeah, that's going to be a huge game next week. But look, Adelaide got really close to the Demons, but in this one, it was Melbourne by 4. In a day which has seen some really good games, this one was another. St Kilda versus North Melbourne at Marvel Stadium to finish off the round. This game ended not too long ago. St Kilda 9-15-69. Defeated North Melbourne 9-7-61 by 8 points. This is a win the Saints have been searching for a very long time. They needed this win. And look, it wasn't pretty. And if teams can still outscore them, they've got Hawthorn next week, which will definitely be an interesting one. But they only win it by 8. They were inaccurate. But again, I'm not going to be very picky here. But I do want to say that 69 is not a huge score. But again, though, a win is a win. You get them, you take them, and the 4 points are theirs, and they're banked, and they're inside the top 8 at the moment, which we're going to the ladder in just a moment. But anyway, though, St Kilda, 3-3 in the first term, so St Kilda started off the game strongly. In the second quarter, though, North Melbourne, they kicked 4-0 in that second term. That's the term where they take the game and threaten to win it. 2-1 in the third term. Again, though, St Kilda missing some chances, 4-12 to 8-4. But it sets it up for a thrilling and cracking finish. But in the end, though, North Melbourne can't do a lot. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive Saints goals to start off the final term. One more for North brings it back and leaves as a really tight game for the last 8-ish minutes. And then, in the end, St Kilda, Jack Higgins, the winner, the soccer off the boot. What a goal it was for Jack Higgins. And that won the game by 8 points. And North kicked it behind on the siren. But anyway, though, 133 fantasy for Steele, 123 for Marshall, 116 for Sheasel, 114 for Windhager, 112 for Sinclair, 104 for Davies Uniac, 102 for Wood. Goals behind, 3 goals for Thomas and Larkey. Larkey, he's so huge for North Melbourne. He's just so important down there. 2 goals for Higgins, including that late goal. 2 for Owens as well. Disposals, 33 for Steele, 33 for Davies Uniac, 30 for Windhager, 29 for Sinclair, 28 for Sheasel. Marks now, 9 for Windhager, Wood, Steele, Mackay. Tackles, 11 for Phillips, 8 for Crouch. Hit-outs, 32 for Goldie, 30 for Tristan Zeri, 22 for Marshall, 2 for Caminiti, 1 for Owens, and I believe Stevenson also has 1 next to his name, and that is correct. Team stats now. Only +5 inside 50s for St Kilda. North Melbourne actually getting a decent number of opportunities in this one. We go to hit-outs, which North smashed St Kilda in. We go to clearances, +10 for St Kilda overall, but North won out the centre, St Kilda all over them at the stoppage. Clearances, they won contested and uncontested footy as well, did St Kilda. They won marks inside 50, 13-8, despite North winning contested marks. They led for just over half the game. North Melbourne, 88 tackles laid. But yeah, look, in the end, it is a really big win here for St Kilda. They were in need of this win, and they get it. And there was a bit of fire this one early as well due to Brett Ratton and all of that. But in the end, though, St Kilda win by 8 points in an absolute thriller. Alright, so we'll go to the ladder in just a moment, but what a round of footy we had. Western Bulldogs defeated Essendon by 41 on the Friday night. Richmond defeated Hawthorn by 1 point, 1 singular point in an absolute thriller first game Saturday. Carlton then smashed West Coast by 71 in the second Saturday afternoon. Brisbane defeated Geelong by 11 in the Saturday twilight game. Then Collingwood defeated Port Adelaide by 2 points in an absolute thriller Saturday night at the Adelaide Oval. And then Sydney defeated Fremantle by 29 comfortably in Perth as the other Saturday night game as well. And then, of course, the games which we've covered in this one. Sunday's footy action. GWS defeated Gold Coast by 40 points. Melbourne defeated Adelaide in thriller by 4 points. And then St Kilda defeated North by 8 in a thriller to finish off the round. So there's a whole heap to analyse on the ladder now. Collingwood 2 games clear of Port Adelaide. Brisbane drawing it right back, and Port Adelaide have the showdown next week in a huge one. Then a trip to Geelong, and Brisbane, well, they've got the Q Clash next week against the Gold Coast Suns. Now Melbourne, they currently sit in 4th. They're getting close as well, and there is all the chance. Which, I mean, if Port Adelaide slip up and lose the showdown and the trip to Geelong to play Geelong, there is the chance which this top 4 could be very shuffled around, because Port Adelaide's percentage is not great, and Brisbane and Melbourne do have far more superior percentages. Port Adelaide really just have to at least bank one of those showdown, one of those wins, whether it be against Geelong in Geelong or the showdown, to probably just about ensure at least, probably to just feel a little bit better about second spot. But you wouldn't really want to be risking going down all the way to 4th, because it is getting pretty tight now from 2nd to 4th. It's only 2 games in it. And then the Western Bulldogs are in 5th on 40 points, along with St Kilda and GWS all on 40 points. As I said, that Giants percentage, so important. And the Dogs and the Giants will be clashing next week in what will be a huge game at Mars Stadium for sure. Geelong are in 8th right now, 38 points, along with Carlton. Richmond as well on 38 in 10th. Then Essendon are in 11th on 36, and they on 36 points there, and they lost a huge amount of percentage over the last couple of weeks against Geelong and the Western Bulldogs. They now dip below 100%. Sydney now, they get a huge win, which saves their season there. They climb up into 12th on 34 points. Adelaide in 13th, 32 points, and their season's fate could be lying on the showdown next week. And Gold Coast, their season's fate could be lying on the Q Clash next week. They're on 32 points as well, but percentage will really is looking ugly for them, and will probably be the factor why they won't make the 8. They'd have to pretty much win every game from here and do have a bit of a challenging run home, including Adelaide at the Adelaide, with Sydney at the SCG, and Brisbane, of course, next week in the Q Clash. Fremantle are done now. They're in 15th. They're on 28. They will not make it. Hawthorn are in 16th and still have plenty of opportunity to claim some scalps throughout the rest of the year. And then North Melbourne and West Coast will be clashing next week as well in 17th versus 18th in Perth, which we go to the round 20 fixtures and we have a very good look at this. Friday night, it's going to be a huge crowd. It's going to be a huge game. Collingwood and Carlton. First game Saturday, the Dogs and the Giants at Mars Stadium. That's going to be another crucial clash. Also, same time, Geelong and Fremantle at GMHBA Stadium as well. And then the Q Clash, it's pretty big for Gold Coast. It is also pretty big for Brisbane. This is going to be a big Q Clash for sure. Saturday night has 2 huge games. 11th versus 12th at Marvel Stadium. Essendon versus Sydney. That's going to be a huge game. And the winner will jump skip and have a potential chance to maybe climb into the top 8 if Geelong lose their game, which is unlikely. But look, that one's going to be a huge one then. Look, Saturday night as well, huge showdown, Adelaide versus Port Adelaide. Absolutely massive. Showdowns are always heated. Showdowns are always intense. This should be a cracker. First game Sunday should also be a cracker. Hawthorn and St Kilda. This is definitely an opportunity which Hawthorn have to claim a scalp. Got oh so close against Richmond. They could very well claim this one against St Kilda. And look, St Kilda, they'd love to try and get a little bit of form here to try and go into their not easiest of run homes for sure. They've got a couple of toughies coming up in the next few rounds, including Richmond, Geelong, and Brisbane in there. So yeah, they want the win there for sure, so that'll be a good one. Richmond and Melbourne is a Sunday Channel 7 game, 10th versus 4th, huge for both these two clubs. And then West Coast and West Coast and North Melbourne, finishes off the round at Optus Stadium to finish off round 20, and that is going to be 18th versus 17th, and should also be another good game. Anyway, though, round 19 was an absolute cracker of a round. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. See you guys in the next another video on the channel. Thank you guys so much, and bye everyone. Flame Footy out.